Yep. Oh, so we should.
All right, we're ready, yeah.
Ready? We will bring the June meeting of the Graphics Commission for the City of Columbus. Jamie, preliminary business first.
First of all, I'd like to welcome Bethany Harding from City Attorney's Office. She'll be subbing in for Robert today. Nothing on the preliminary agenda, but we do have a policy memo. Chief Zoning Official Shannon Pine is here to discuss that with the commission.
Great.
Good evening, everybody. I think I had the opportunity of meeting most of you was that last year? Last year when I was promoted to Chief Zoning Official. So this is my first time presenting on a graphics code change to everyone. So we've got a very brief change to section 3377.24 wall signs for individual uses. This is a code section that requires the wall sign to be on, when it is on a public facing street, that the public entrance also has to be on that street. And you have seen several requests for variances to this section. Think of it, Aldi's, they usually have their main entrance on the side. Most of us here on staff today don't really understand why this is here. It's more of a normal wayfinding typical item that you would want your wall sign to be on your front facade. People can usually figure out where the entrance to the building is once they are in the parking lot and can find the site from the wall sign that's on the front facing view of the building. This code change has been reviewed by the Development Commission and also by our city attorney's office, and hasn't been any issues. So I'm just here tonight to present this change to you and take any feedback. You don't have to take any actions. We're not required by code to get a vote for this code change. It's just more of a informative presentation tonight. So if anybody has any questions or comments.
Duly noted.
I think it's excellent. We've been in the sign industry for years. That has been kind of a complication, so I'm glad to see that change.
Yes, and as you know, we are doing a zoning code update that will probably at the tail end of the process include some graphics code changes. This was a very minor one. We've had a few other housekeeping items to handle, so we just thought this was minor enough that we can go ahead and save staff the effort and the applicants the effort of going through a graphics commission process for something so simple. So, but yeah, thank you for your consideration this evening and your time, and I appreciate it. So, thank you.
Okay. Since Robert's not here, I have to read the oath. So can anyone who's in the audience who plans on testifying today or on city staff, please stand. And do you swear or affirm that the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge? Please say I do.
I do.
All right. We can call our first case then, which is GC 23013, 4982 to 4986 General Road. Okay.
GC 23-013 is located on the northeast corner of Chelsea Glen Drive and Gender Road. It's on the CPD Commercial Plan Development District, and it's located in the Greater Southeast Area Commission. The 1.97 acre site is currently being developed as a gas station and convenience store. The surrounding uses are primarily residential with a commercial plaza to the south and a vacant parcel and public storage to the west. The applicant proposes to repeal and replace the existing graphics plan for a newly constructed gas station. The existing graphics plan is being replaced to add 3 digital menu boards, which were not previously included. The proposed graphics plan will include 2 wall signs, an automatic changeable top monument fuel sign, and 3 digital menu boards. The development text for this property states that a graphics plan is to be established. The current graphics plan was approved in March. Planning states that they are in full support of the request with the removal of the 2 digital front signs, while the proposed monument sign and menu boards also include automatic changeable Copy planning is supportive of the request in these instances as the feature is limited to fuel prices only for the monument sign, and the menu boards will be located on the rear of the building. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. The Greater Southeast Area Commission recommends approval of this request. And staff can recommend approval of the requested graphics plan because the proposed monument sign and wall signs are appropriately sized, and the automatic changeable copy on the monument sign is limited to fuel prices only, and menu boards will be located appropriately, consistent with other previously approved automatic changeable copy signs. Staff is recommending conditions that the elevations be stamped and the automatic changeable copy displayed on the monument sign be limited to fuel pricing only.
Hi, can you please state your name for the record?
Srini Kumba.
Can you please spell that? Tony's not here, but you'll probably be listening later.
SRINIKUMBHA.
Thank you very much. You want to go ahead and present your case?
As Stephen mentioned, we got the approval on the 3 signs previously in March, and the plan was approved for a drive-through. I was not under impression that I have to go for the menu boards also included in the graphics plan. So we are here just to add those 3 menu boards in the back of the building along with the approved ones.
The elevations that you're holding up were previously approved in the graphics plan passed in March, along with Dave, can you flip back?
Yeah.
Those 3 signs were what was previously approved under the old graphics plan.
So these are now amended?
It'll be amended to
add a drive-through menu.
What's in our packets?
those signs didn't change. Really, the only change is this menu board. It's just the graphics plan being a graphics plan. The original one needs to be repealed, replaced with this full plan.
Got it. Does anyone have any questions? So this isn't a variance, it's just an amendment of a graphics plan, correct? But yeah, there's like statements of hardship in the application, so it's really, excuse me?
Is it just from the old plan?
No, I was just curious, like, it's not a variance, but there's paperwork in the application as if it were a variance, but we don't need to vote on a finding of fact is my point.
That's correct.
I put that one because of we are in the construction, so trying to get approval at the earliest. We're trying to open as soon as possible, but things worked out. We are just wrapping up. I think this is just right time.
Okay, got it. So can I have a motion to approve the application? Oh, sorry, one more question. Are you okay with the conditions that city staff recommended?
Yes,
Are they in the application or, yeah, we need to have them read in or are we good?
yeah, we removed the 2. Originally, I added the 2 screens like open, close times, digital menu. Staff said we won't approve those. I'm okay with those. I removed those.
Okay. So can I have a motion to approve the application with the conditions added?
I'd like to make that motion to approve this graphic plan as stated by the applicant and the staff.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, call the roll.
Mr. Hoy,
Yes.
Ms. Augenstein,
Yes.
Mr. Roha.
Yeah.
Chair Cooperman.
Yes, and your application is approved.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Do you need these? Was this just for our, do you need these back?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, next case is GC 23-014, 8200 East Broad Street.
8200 East Broad Street is located on the northeast corner of Broad Street and Cedar Cliff. It's zone LC4 commercial and is part of the Far East Area Commission. The 8.08 acre site is developed with a commercial shopping center. Surrounding uses are multi-unit dwellings to the north and east and commercial to the south and west. The applicant proposes to install wall signs and banners for the grand opening of a retail store. 1 main identifier, 1 side identifier, 2 wall plaques, 1 blade sign, and 4 temporary banners. Variances are being requested to increase the allowable graphic area on the southern elevation from 190 to 273.5 square feet. To increase the allowable graphic area on the west elevation from 144 to 160 square feet. To increase the number of allowable bands from 1 to 4, to increase the maximum area of banner 1 from 16 square feet to 144 square feet. Increase the maximum area of banner 2 from 16 square feet to 48 square feet. Increase the maximum area of banner 3 from 16 square feet to 45 square feet. To increase the maximum area of banner 4 from 16 square feet to 48 square feet. And to increase the display time for each banner from 30 days to 180 days. Planning supports the requested variance as they are generally consistent with the Columbus citywide planning policies. Design lines for graphics, Division of Traffic Management has no comments. The Far East Area Commission recommended approval of all variances except to allow a wall sign on the eastern facade. Staff is recommending approval as the banner and temporary signs will be time limited, excuse me. Staff would recommend approval of the permanent wall signs as the variances are negligible and the wall signs are sized appropriate in relation to the building and surrounding area.
A lot of variance. Okay. Could you please present please state your name for the record first?
Right.
For
My name is
Miss Tony, who's not there.
my name is Rebecca Green, and I'm working with Lair Image, who's working with Ross for Less.
Okay, great. Thanks. Please
So-
present your case.
Ross for Less is coming into the Columbus market. They have a couple locations, one location on the north side, one location on the west side, and they've had similar kinds of variances they've asked for. This one's near Rhodes on the east side. So then, as you can see, the sign, the front wall sign is individual letters with a lot of space in between. And the way that the graphic area is calculated, although this looks like it's a really big sign, there's really not that much light there because of all the wall that you can see through it. And we need a good identifier. This particular location sits behind various out parcels. So it is important for us to be seen. And that's what we're hoping to do with that initial wall sign on the front. The second sign, I'm not sure, can you pull up the sidewall sign?
Small sign. Is it on?
It's not a sidewall sign, like,
No, these are all south.
Oh,
it's on the east side.
that is what we get.
These are all the same.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just show my computer with it on?
If you have it, certainly.
I did.
For sure.
Faculty.
Yeah, we have it in our files. We can pull it up. It'll take a hot second.
Well, we'll talk about other things then, and while you're doing that. So, part of what they also have is a under canopy sign that just goes right under the canopy, right in front of the entrance. And it's a small, illuminated sign with their, oval trademark that is blue, and it says, it goes, it's considered a projecting sign, and so I need to have a variance since it's directed to the same streets as a principal. Because there will be along East Broad Street. And then the other signs that I have are two wall plaques. You can see.
Yeah.
You settle where you want to settle two wall plaques that are also in the blue oval on either side. This kind of marks the limits of the store. That is included obviously in this facade's graphic area. And it just contributes to that overall big graphic piece and the way things are calculated by the city. And then we have a number of banners, opening banners. So there's a banner that is up for approximately 30 days that says opening soon. There is a banner that's up for approximately right before, it's just like 3 weeks, that says now hiring. And then there's the now open banners, and grand opening banners that exist for a few months after it is open. So even though we heard it was 180 days, these are actually smaller increments. But the total amount of all these is actually about 4 months. The store is intended to be open near the end of the year, so I think in November, so we won't need 180 days for that opening themes. And then were you able to find that? There it is. This is the sidewall sign. And again, it's a sign with a lot of spaces. It's just 4 blue channel type letters, and it is, but because of the calculation of the graphic area, it is considered to be a really big sign. And it is a one of those 3377.24 B sign or D signs where you're only allowed 16 square feet. This is facing Cedar Cliff. Cedar Cliff is a entrance road from East Broad Street. There at the corner where the Sheets is, it goes north into a residential area. The Ross deems it important to have because it is, again, a way behind some out parcels. And it is Cedar Cliff is a throughway from East Broad into a very robust residential area, and they want to be able to attract those people. That's about what I have. Do I have any questions or?
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
So per the code, you're only allowed to display these temporary banners for 30 days, and you're asking that be increased to 180 days on all the temporary, is that correct?
Well, each one has a different time frame, but the total would be probably 120 days at this point.
So they add up all the temporary banners? Like, or does each one stand on its own, or?
It should stand on its own, but I think that was a simplified way of proposing it.
Each banner is allowed 30 days.
And so are you, that's what I guess I'm confused. Are you asking for 180 days on all of them or different time periods for?
Different time periods on each one. So for the first one, it's about 60 days. The second one is about 30 days. The now hiring is 3 weeks. And the last one, again, it's about 30 days.
So it sounds like you're only asking for really a variance of one of them.
That's correct.
And we can amend that if you're.
Yeah, just a lot of requests. Anyone else have any questions? Which one did the local area commission?
They did not care for my sidewalls. It's not stones. But the east wall sign, which there it is.
That's the one that was facing the neighborhood that was important because.
It's facing the street that goes back north of this is a.
So that's the residential
area, yeah. And they feel like since it is a store that's behind a lot of out parcels, that they need that to make sure that with residential area and also the traffic along that would be turning up Cedar Cliff to get to them.
Oh, I understand why the applicant requested it. I'm curious why the area commission didn't grant it or didn't like it.
My understanding is they were concerned that it faced a residential.
Is it eliminated?
It is. But again, it's just the letters. It's not like a big box cabinet. It's just those 4 letters.
It looks like you go over a lake, it's pretty far away.
Yes, and there's like I believe a conduit on the other side of that lake.
There's water.
Or-
As well.
That's exactly.
I have concern, considering the residents are against it.
Any other questions? Can I have a motion? Are there any conditions, Jamie, that were requested? I don't think so.
We clarify which banner was being.
Yeah, which one under 60 days?
It's the first one. It's the one that says now opening soon. Which you would think would be soon, but it's 16 days.
So this is a variance, so we need a motion to adopt finding of the fact?
Question.
Sure.
So to the staff, so, how do you feel about this the wall on the sign on the eastern facade? So,
We're approved, we're saying approval. The Far East Area Commission did not like it. It's kind of goes with what Shannon was talking about earlier. It's a secondary frontage, so it's something we normally do.
Let me ask it this way, if the code were amended per Shannon's discussion today, would a variance even be needed?
Yes,
It's still
but
good,
it's technically a sidewall sign, and you're allowed a maximum of 16 square feet,
just because of the size of it?
Yeah.
Got it.
not the location.
so what I'm hearing is if it was smaller, it wouldn't even need.
Correct. If it was 16 square feet or less, it would not be. But as proposed, it does.
Once again, this particular sign is just 4 letters and, graphics is a big box around those 4 letters. So a lot of those letters, or a lot of that sign area is their wall. Could I, if you decide not to allow the sign, can I ask that that particular sign be bifurcated and changed?
One thing I might add too, if this helps some, the faces are blue that I'm looking at. And at nighttime, blue sign it does not, it just like if it was red or white or something like that, it would really stand out. The blue's pretty, it's pretty tame. It's similar to like Riverside Hospital blue or Grant Hospital. So it's a lot less light that you would see that would be a distraction, I think. But daytime, I think that would help them a lot because they are tucked back in and they have all those out parcels there. It's tough to see that story, I think. But it's just my opinion there.
I would want to side with the neighborhood, the people that live in the neighborhood.
Is your microphone on?
Is that-
Oh, it's, your green light, maybe not, there you go.
I want to side with the neighborhood. I would hate to, I don't live in the neighborhood, so I don't know, and I don't really remember that area, so I don't know what it looks like to the neighborhood, but if I was concerned about lights.
The applicants requested if we can bifurcate that.
Call that separately?
So we can, are we able to do that? Focus
Yes.
on everything else and just table that?
Well, you can vote on that or table it if you'd like, but you can definitely bifurcate it.
What if it were not eliminated? Do you think that would help some?
Yeah, I think
It
if it
was-
wasn't eliminated, yeah, she said that that's their concern.
Well, it is, but I mean, they could, maybe we could agree that if that signage was up and it was not illuminated, because I think at nighttime is when that's becomes pretty prevalent, I think.
It's really just 3 houses too. Yeah, it really is just these 3 houses that would have a shot of
Yeah.
it. The rest is woods.
Of course, in some,
Even across the ponds, that back set of houses.
Yeah.
without a sign there, it just looks like a warehouse,
Yeah.
To me, it seems like the sign helps it, say what it is.
16 square feet is pretty small.
Yeah.
Could we add a condition? What about adding a condition that the illumination goes off on the sign when the store closes? Is that possible?
I don't know if that's possible. I think your code actually requires that already. Does it? No, oh, I must have been thinking of another code, sorry.
Hilliard does that.
Hilliard does that.
Do you want to, we can vote on all the other requests and can we table that individual one?
Yes.
And you can talk with city staff? With
That would be great.
Well, to pass, we have to have 4 votes. right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Sounds like that's the only thing that people have concern with.
That's right. So if we could just table that one till next time, that'd be great.
Okay. So can I have a motion to adopt the findings of the fact as presented by city staff and the applicant?
Yes, I could make a motion for the finding of facts provided by staff, the applicant, And with holding off on that wall sign on the east side till the next meeting, to determine size, lighting, and maybe from the neighborhood, get a little clearer perspective on that. And then when we come back, we can address that.
That sounds good.
Can I have a second?
Second,
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the application minus the variance to revised code, or it's 3377.24D, correct?
I'll make a motion to approve, GC 23014 minus CC 3377.248.
Can I have a second? That's a lot.
I'm second.
Thanks.
I hate to interrupt, I just want to put it on the record, you did find a hardship existed. And that was on the record. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I believe the finding of fact
Established. that.
established that there was a hardship as presented by city staff and
Okay.
yeah.
And I can't amend what I was saying there. I'm glad you said that, because the hardship is the out parcels, the setback of that building, and then on that one side of the building, it is so plain and not visible.
Okay, just want to make that clear.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, you can go ahead and call the roll.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Rumpel,
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt,
Yes.
Chair Cooperman.
Yes, and most of the applications approved.
Thank you so much.
Well, I think we also need a motion to the table.
Okay.
3377.24D.
Can I have a motion to table a portion of this application to variance for 3377.24D? It's a dog.
I'll make a motion to table 3377.248.
Okay, can I have a second?
I'll second.
We have to vote individually or
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay,
Okay, thank you again.
thanks. It does say, Jamie, it does say in here though that illuminated only during the hours which the activity is operating.
That's not code compliant. I'm just,
Oh, no, is that the actual code? Like, is that what the section says?
I believe that's what the Near East asked for. So,
I'm just reading it, what it doesn't.
yeah, and that, I believe that was a Near East recommendation. That's not a code compliant.
Oh, you're just, okay,
Yeah, they are.
I see. You're just reciting one thing. Got it. Okay, we can call case number 3, which is GC 23-015, 5300 North High Street. Hi, can you please state your name for the record?
Bruce Sommerfeld, agent for the applicant.
Okay, and who's,
5300 North High Street is located at the southeast corner of North High Street and Sunnyside Lane. It is zone C4 commercial and is part of the Clintonville Area Commission. The 1.321 acre site is developed with a retail establishment with the entrance directed towards the parking lot, making this a secondary building frontage. Surrounding uses are primarily commercial. The applicant proposes to install a wall sign on a secondary building frontage, which is directed towards their parking lot. A variance is being requested to increase the graphic area of a wall sign on a secondary building frontage from 30 square feet to 131 square feet. Planning supports this variance request as it is consistent with the Clintonville neighborhood plan design guidelines. The plan recommends signage should be placed and sized on buildings such that they are in keeping with the scale and size of the building facades and general streetscapes. Therefore, planning supports this request. The Division of Traffic Management had no comments, and the Clintonville Area Commission recommended approval of this request. Staff recommends approval. Staff can recommend approval of the wall sign as a proposal is appropriate in size and scale in relation to the building and is compatible with similar signage in the surrounding area. Additionally, staff note that the existing landscape along the main facade is preventing signage from being located on the primary frontage of the building. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen of the board. This is a unique facility, given the CCO overlay that is now imposed and imposes these restrictions, such that we were required to request the variance that's now in front of you. We did take this through the Clintonville Area Commission, and the staff reported we did gain their approval. Part of the guidelines, the design guidelines for the overlay is that 60% of the building profile needs to front the primary frontage, and the primary frontage is typically the frontage that the facility is addressed to, in this case, High Street. And then the primary frontage also is required to have the main entrance, the visitor entrance, and the parking. In this case, the primary frontage is High Street, has less than 60% of the profile. There's about a 75 or an 80-foot lineal foot frontage on the west, and then the secondary frontage on the north that faces the 2nd Street sunny side has about 210 square feet. The north elevation, the secondary elevation, also has the public entrance, has the parking, and really should be designated the primary facade, but due to the overlays, it is known as the secondary elevation. So we're requesting about 101 square feet over the allowable 30 square feet for what would be a secondary elevation, a secondary frontage, to get some functionality and some visual wayfinding. The west elevation has no opportunity for functional signage given the foliage and the mature trees and so forth. There is an existing ground sign that was there prior to the overlay, and we're going to reface that offers some visibility for southbound traffic, but northbound is blocked by the trees as well. There's a smaller secondary sign on the canopy identifying donation center, which is included in the 131 square feet. And as being good neighbors, as the landlord is and Goodwill is, that was going to be illuminated, but Clintonville requested maybe we can take some illumination out of that and make that non-illuminated. So we did agree to that. And we also agreed to put a timer on the circuit panel such that the illumination of the letters and the wall sign go dark at time of closing. So really we're using the overlay as a hardship. And as exceptional shallowness and topographical issues to do with the property. We also have that the primary elevation offers no functional visibility, and that's nothing to do with the applicant or the Goodwill. And there are other parcels in the zone that have functional primary elevations that we don't experience here, given the visual. And that without functioning size signage and direction, the property couldn't realize a reasonable rate of return.
Okay.
Questions?
Oh, sorry.
If you have any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion for to adopt the finding of the facts that a hardship was presented along with this application?
I'll make a motion to adopt the finding of facts as presented by the applicant.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Based on that, adopting the finding of the facts, can I have a motion to approve the application as presented?
I'd like to make a motion to proceed with approving this application as presented.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, you can call the roll.
Mr. Rumbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Hoyt?
Yes.
Ms. Augenstein?
Yes.
Mayor Cooperman?
Yes. Thank you. And your application is approved. The last one we have is application GC 23-010. There's a B in there. That's interesting. 1489 Roar Road.
Yeah, so the B is, because this was previously heard as a graphics plan. However, there is one part that was split out of the graphics plan as it was thought to be allowed by right. We were mistaken in that, so they're coming back for a variance for that one particular section. We kept the same record, so it's the subsection B.
Thanks for educating. Appreciate that.
So 1489 Roar Road is located on the south side of Roar Road, approximately 1,200 feet west of Bixby Road. It is part of the Far South Columbus Area Commission, and the existing zoning is LM Manufacturing District. The 59.73 acre site is currently developed with a recently constructed industrial center. Surrounding uses include similar industrial centers and warehouses to the east and south, and farmland and several single unit dwellings to the north. The applicant previously had applied for and was granted a graphics plan to include 3 directional multi-tenant signs and tenant identification signs. The applicant is now requesting variances for 2 main identification ground signs, which are labeled as sign A here and here, along Roar Road to increase the allowable number of tenant panels from 4 to 5, and to increase the portion of such ground signs utilized to display tenant panels from 50% to 74%. Planning requests that the applicant reduce the height of the 2 multi-tenant signs along the Roar Road frontage. Columbus citywide planning policy states that in suburban areas, monument style signs should not be taller than 6 feet. As such, staff requests the applicant reduce the height of the 2 Roar Road signs that will be most visible from the public right of way to 6 feet for consistency with plan recommendations. Division of Traffic Management has no comments. Far South Columbus Area Commission recommends approval of this request, and likewise, the city's recommendation is that approval. Staff can recommend approval of the increased number of tenant panels and increased percentage due to the number of tenants and scale of the development. Chair.
Okay.
Thank you, Bruce Sommerfeld. On behalf of staff and this department, you did approve a graphics plan, I believe last month or maybe the month before, in its entirety. And if you recall, we did have a bit of a discussion about these A-type signs that were not included. They were reviewed, we did look at them, but they weren't included in the graphics plan because we had been granted a sign permit to do these erroneously, for whatever reason. So the request is, it's a huge development, 170 some acres, a lot of truck traffic coming in and out of there. The height of the sign is kind of critical. There's some topographical elevation down through there and some uneven grade that we need some higher signs. And the all important identification for this development is the tenants that are in there, rather than the overall umbrella, in this case known as the rig. So the square footage of the signage, the setback, the placement, all meet code. It's the variance is to deal with the number of tenant panels, 1 extra over what code allows, and the percentage of 50-50, and I think we're 70-30 or something in that nature. But the rest of it does meet code. So to provide functional wayfinding signage for the tenants that could be up to 2,500 feet off the road, before you'd see their secondary signage to identify them. It's a requirement that we need to have this size and this placement of graphics. Without the correct wayfinding, it's not going to be a good proponent for governmental services and for firefighters and for wayfinding for truck traffic. There is no public entrance for these facilities fronting the road, so it's really acting as a wayfinding sign as well. And we would ask for approval of these 2 extra signs as a variance without changing the already submitted and approved graphics plan.
So would you just say that's your hardship from the access point, the entry? That's why this variance is warranted?
Yeah, and for the size of the facility, and we've got a minimum of 5 main tenants that are in there.
How many square feet is this development?
Well, there's several buildings on there. If you look at the site policy, you can see, I don't know how many square feet there.
To say the acreage is estimated to be 59.73.
What-
It is massive.
What, the statute actually says you can only have 4 tenant panels? Like,
Yeah, commercial.
Some of the
Just pick a
buildings are
number
a
to
million
fit
square
there.
foot. There's probably 3 or 4 million square foot of usable space.
Yeah. You can have whatever square footage is calculated, half of it's devoted to the name of the center.
No,
And then you can have 4 named, 1, 2, 3, or 4, but let's just have the codes written.
That actually, yeah, that came up years ago when 20 years ago. And somebody actually, and this was, I don't know, if it was the grass commissioner or Brad Jones, if anyone remembers Brad Jones. They said that there's some psychological trick that you can't focus on more than 4 things at a time. So that's where they came up with 4 tenant panels. Now, obviously, a center like this, one parcel, one development adheres to the code the same way Graceland was.
so if it's got 10,000 square feet versus 2 million square feet, it's still 4.
Right,
Right.
because I guess the idea is if you have 30 tenant panels on one sign, you can't focus. Imagine, I think we brought this up several times, that sign on Old Henderson Road. got like
Looks like
every-
yellow pages.
Yeah, it's like, so you can't focus, so the idea is to advertise the biggest tenants. It's not like, customers are gonna be going here, it's more for the truck driver, delivery driver, so it's, 5 we're okay with, 10 we would not be okay. And the fact that it's 50%, as long as you're identifying the center, you can find the center, that's the important part. That's why we're okay with the height of the sign and the graphic area of the sign, which are code compliant. Planning wanted them shrunk down to 6 feet and reduced, but the overall impression is of why we need 4 is because of that's all you can register when you're driving.
Kind of important for the truck drivers to find out where they're going when they're delivering all the,
Well, I assume every truck driver now has GPS anyway. That's another argument for another time.
but where in the center that, I mean, anyway.
The question I have is, had these been included in the graphic plan originally, and then, is that right? I mean,
Yeah, so if these would have been included in the graphics plan originally, they would have been just
Covered
allowed,
whatever
yeah.
way.
They would have been covered by the
Yeah.
graphics plan.
Okay.
We'd still have to identify the variances, so I think.
Got it. Okay. Could I have a motion to adopt the finding of the fact that the applicant has demonstrated a hardship?
Yes, I would be glad to make a motion of the finding of facts provided by staff and also by the client applicants, as the need for this variance, and I believe the hardships that have been presented are very applicable.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the application?
I'll put a motion to approve application GC 2301B.
Can I have a second?
Second.
You can go ahead and call the roll.
Mr. Hoy,
Yes.
Ms. Augustine,
Yes.
Mr. Rokoff,
Yes.
Chair Guterman.
Yes, your application is approved.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Neighbors.
I am so confused on how
That's how
you just say 4. It's like,
it's like.
and you're saying you think it happened because